episode 4. It actually came out December 5th though.
So you just wind your arm backwards in a big circle, release right at the bottom, and follow through. You got that?
You're wasting your time, Raggy.
Just wait a second.
Raggy, you know. Oh my gosh. He sounds so cute. Just oh gosh.
I actually didn't mean to do.
And I don't think he actually meant to do that for true. You're wasting your time, Raggy. I like that.
So you just wind your arm
Sounds like
backwards in a big
Scooby-Doo.
circle, release right at the bottom,
And he sounds good
follow
at the same
through.
time.
You got that?
Damn.
You're wasting your time, Raggy.
Just wait a second. Like this? Yeah, you got it.
Aw, something so cute.
Like this? Yeah, you got it.
Ouch.
I actually didn't mean to do that.
Are you alright, Gangle? This? Yeah, you got it.
I actually didn't mean to do that.
Are you alright, Gangle? Why do you always gotta do this?
What? I just said it was an accident.
Unbelievable. You are
Hey,
unbelievable.
Gangle, I think I found something you might like. I don't know if it'll work, but it looks about the same shape as yours.
Oh my literal life. No wonder.
Hey, Gangle, I think I found something you might like. I don't know if it'll work. It looks about the same shape as yours. The best part is it's plastic, so it won't break as easily. Try it on. How's it feel?
It feels
Wrong.
normal. Like in a good way.
That's so it
Wrong.
won't break as easily.
Just wrong.
Try it on.
Digit wrong.
How's it feel?
It feels normal.
The whole animation looks
Like
different.
in a good way.
That's good, right?
Yeah. Thank you, Zubul.
Aw, Zoom's so cute. The
Normal.
Rotted Ross.
Like in a good way.
That's good, right?
Yeah. Thank you, Zubul.
What the heck is this? You just giving away parts now?
So what if I am? I'm not giving any to you.
Darn. Guess you're never getting that unicorn horn, Pomni.
When did I ever say anything about that? I think you look good with one.
Pomni is so cute. I can't lie.
You just giving away parts now?
So what
She's
if I
so
am? I'm not
cute.
giving any to you.
Darn. Guess you're never getting that unicorn horn, Pomni.
When did I ever say anything about that?
She's
I
so
think you
adorable.
look good with one. Well, it's possible.
Did somebody say adventure?
No.
Today's adventure is...
Wait, what
Never
that
getting
you
that
want?
unicorn horn, Pomni.
When did I ever say anything about that? I think you look good with one. Well, it's possible.
Did somebody say adventure?
Favorite character. Best character.
Today's adventure is the curse of the violent psychopath Butcher. That's right. Scary human meat is all over the walls, and boy, is it smelly. It's up to you to...
Can we, like, chill with the horror, please?
And it.
We don't want this to be like,
all over the walls, and boy, is it smelly. It's up to you to...
Can we, like, chill with the horror, please? I
Dinger.
don't want this to be like last time.
What happened last time? Was that the one made for me?
There was this awful, horrifying angel head thing. And when we tried to fight back at all, we got sent to hell where evil souls tried to infest
Nah, the
our
whole last
bodies.
animation is different.
It was bad.
Why did you think I would like that?
Well, if you're all gonna be such critics, why don't you suggest a better one?
We do. Have you not checked the suggestion box once?
Gonna be real, I forgot we had... Why don't you suggest a better one?
We do. Have you not checked the suggestion box once?
Yo, Zubu is much bigger.
Gonna be real, I forgot we had that.
You have
We have
that.
a suggestion box.
Basically, no. The suggestion box once.
I love how the guy.
Gonna be real, I forgot we
Okay,
had
we had
that.
what?
I knew it.
We have a suggestion box.
Basically, no.
Huh.
I knew it.
We have a suggestion.
That's the same
Basically, no.
dirt thingy. Okay, maybe not. Maybe not exactly the same.
Bubble, plug that up. How about an adventure where Zooble gets turned into a piñata and we all take turns beating them up?
That one's mine. Who would have guessed?
Let's just have an adventure where Jax can't talk through the entire thing.
Genuinely hurtful. Good.
Can we maybe pick one that's more normal?
Well, I don't know what's normal to you people. Let's have one where we all work at a fast food place. Is that normal?
Who wrote that?
Yeah, that's pretty normal.
Right. That means today's adventure is an honest, hard day's work at Spotsy's restaurant chain. And you
Sportsies.
can be the shift manager.
You did not just make that today's adventure.
That's right. You've shown enough leadership skills today to be the perfect shift manager. Of course, of course. I'm already getting tons of ideas.
That's it.
That was weird.
Well, see,
You got a tongue?
Of course, of
His
course.
tongue is
I'm
Bubbles'
already
tongue.
getting tons of ideas.
That's sick. That's sick.
That was weird.
That's sick.
Yes.
That's beast. I love it.
That was weird.
Hey,
see you guys when it's over.
Again?
I'm not gonna be a wage slave for fun.
Oh, I know. I could sit this one out, and Zooble could take my place.
But that's not how that works.
Great idea, Kinger. It'll be...
A wage slave
that's a
for
fair
fun.
Skinger.
Oh, I know. I could sit this one out.
No.
And Zooble could take my place.
No.
That's not how that works.
Great idea, Kinger. It'll be nice to have you back on board, Zooble.
What, are you kidding me? I'm not just gonna be forced into this
The animation
stupid
is so different.
fun.
Oh, I know.
It's like everything just looks
This
plastic.
one out, and Zooble could take my place.
What, that's not how that works.
Great idea, Kinger. It'll be nice to have you back on board, Zooble.
What, are you kidding me? I'm not just gonna be forced into this stupid
You
adventure.
can shut up now.
Ouch!
Forced into this stupid
You
adventure.
can shut up now.
I think I might be able to give it a swing. Being a shift manager was my job at one point.
Then what are we waiting for?
Ah.
Get your shoes ready,
I
'cause
just
we're
know that.
going to-
Okay.
I think I might be able to give it a swing.
Hey, a master
Being
Jackie
a shift
Soka.
manager was my job at one point.
Then what
Soka
are we waiting
design.
for?
Why did
Get
those two
your-
guys
Being a
say
shift manager was my job at one point.
Then what are we waiting for? Get your
Rocket
non-slip
that
shoes
back.
ready, 'cause we're going to Spotsy's.
Free game. The creator hates Jax in it. Is it Jax or Jack? Wow.
Well, I guess I should get into manager mode and get us all kicked off. And with that out of the way, let's get to work, guys.
Oh no! It looks like I've taken Ragatha and dropped her in the deep fryer.
Boo-hoo!
Oh,
Boo-hoo!
let's get to work, guys.
Oh no! It looks like I've taken Ragatha
Bro.
and dropped her in the deep fryer.
No. We can't
Oh.
have anything like that going
You wanna-
on around here.
He's one of the
What are
cause
you gonna do about it, though?
I'm calling upper management.
Yellow.
Hey, King, we're having a bit of an issue with the employees, and I was wondering if you could maybe have a punishment waiting for them at the end of the day if they do a terrible job.
Wait, what?
Motivation. That's what my adventures have been missing. Great idea, Gangle. I'll be sure to make something truly awful awaiting your rotten employees.
Why would you do this?
It's called a manic episode, and you're getting 3 more seasons. Anyway, Jax, it's your job to set up the drink station.
Can we just
It's called a
Ragatha
manic
dying?
episode, and you're getting 3 more seasons. Anyway, Jax, it's your job to set up the drink station, make new coffee and iced tea, and fill the ice cream machine. So get to it.
Bro?
This is really weird.
Because she's ordering you around. But idiot. See that? That was stupid. I should use the freaking truck, yeah. Baka. They're so cute.
Oh, what can I get for you today?
Oh, hey, it's Orbs Man. Oh, he's from a previous adventure? Before your time.
Okay, number 57.
Oh, I hate this guy.
Never say you hate the customer while...
She just wants to butter him, man.
Number 57.
Oh, I
Wait,
hate
57 again. I'm sure 57 was that number that keeps popping up. There it is.
Okay,
Even the-
number 57.
Even the buttons on the thing look weird.
Oh, I hate.
And they gave it a whole thing in my bob. Oh, it's Tetris. Nah, it's Tetris, ain't it? Probably.
Oh, I hate this guy.
Never say you hate the customer while the customer is still here. We wait until after hours for that.
Ouch. Dang, that's boring.
Customer while the customer is still here. We wait until after hours for that.
Excuse me. Yeah, little jester, I'd like to order the stupid burger. Last time I ordered it here, they forgot to add the sauce that makes you stupid. Don't forget the sauce.
Is that a thing we have?
Yes, I order it all the time. I'm addicted.
Okay, one stupid burger.
Heard you loud and clear.
Mama. Bloody hell, Pop. What the frick just happened? That scared the crap out of me. Nah. Nah, still getting tingles. Ragata, I was only had one eye? Since when she only had one eye?
Like, actually.
Why does she only have one eye? Bro, I didn't want that. I wanted to see Rag's face. Oh, no, she never had one eye before. I've never noticed that.
So you're just like actually doing the job.
Yeah, I don't want Kane to punish me.
Kane's not gonna do anything malicious. It's not in his nature.
You really?
Is.
You're just like actually doing the job.
Yeah, I don't want Kane to punish me.
Kane's not gonna do anything malicious. It's not in his nature.
You really want to find out? The only thing holding Kane back is the fact that he likes us. I wouldn't push it.
That's rich coming from you.
I know. It's never not past 7. She's so cute. Oh my gosh. Yay, it's back. Yay.
Hello, Sheila. I'll have a sausage bacon jaffle combo.
Sheila.
And the mate here just wants 6 hash browns split between them.
Yeah, okay. Are you, hi.
Oh.
You right, miss? 6 hash
Oh.
browns split between them.
Yeah, okay. Are you, hi.
Oh.
You right, miss?
Yeah, fine. I'll call your order when you're
Hi, Jay.
ready. But, yeah.
Aw. Aw.
Oh, wait, I forgot to ask for a kid's meal toy. You're not a kid? Oh, yeah. An adult toy, then. Don't know about that one, mate. Well, can I help you, miss?
I, just wanted to say hi.
Hi. Do we know each other?
I don't know.
Oh.
Look, Ragatha, where's Pomni?
Huh? Oh, she's flirting with the gummy guy. 'Cause she'd rather be with an NPC than with us or something.
Well, that won't do.
Bro.
I wish someone would flirt with me.
Pomni, we need you on the register. Stop weirding the customers out. But it's gummy goo. Can't the job wait a bit? It's not like this is real. And next you're gonna say
Bro. Bro.
Anyway,
Is that the
look at
mascot?
that breakfast menu because it's lunchtime.
This is 7.
Alright,
Ah.
fellas, it's lunch rush. Get your game faces on.
Bloody hell. Why everybody's
Does
coming
this
back?
count as a bus?
Are you ready to order?
No thanks. I got this bowl of cereal.
And what you did?
Well, there is a line of people behind you.
Forget it.
Is that for here or to... Can you hold on for just a second?
Guys, it's not the same thing. Same guy. Bro.
Do all the glowings have names?
Of course they do. I love and cherish every toy I give birth to. What kind of mother do you think I am?
It's beautiful. Hey, I just want to wish you a pleasant day. Thanks for eating at Spudsy's.
Have a good one, miss.
Oh, Jax! The bathroom looks like a biohazard and needs a good scrubbing.
Well, I don't know. Shouldn't, like, biohazard crew take care of that?
Hey.
Oh, Jaxie boy.
Rubbish.
Don't you want to be a model employee?
No, I don't care about any of this.
Well, that doesn't really sound like a can-do attitude to me.
It's not.
It's not.
Bad.
I like you better. No.
Jax is so
Jaxie boy. Don't you want to be
Jaxie
a model
boy.
employee?
No, I don't care about any of this.
Well, that doesn't really sound like a can-do attitude to me.
It's not.
Bad.
I like you better when you're sad.
Well, maybe you just need some more.
More.
Bloody hell. Oh my gosh, bro. Look at his hands. Bro, Jax is gonna get beaten.
More.
No, Jax.
Hi.
Oh my gosh.
Spudsies. In this video, you're gonna learn the ins and outs of what makes you a good crew member and a valuable asset to the Spudsies Corporation.
When did you make this?
Now, I know what you're thinking. I don't want a career in fast food. I want to be a comic artist and eventually launch my own manga-inspired webcomic. And it's cool to have dreams, but you also need to remember that they're completely unrealistic, and you need to stop trying. But before we get to all that, first things first. Are you smiling?
No.
Why not?
Bro.
Wait.
Oh my
Wait,
gosh.
nobody can see this, right?
It's time for your employee reevaluation.
You can just close his eyes.
Horseradish sauce. Hey, we need to start assembling these. I'm running out of room here.
I made like 5 or 6 of them.
Cool, that's 6 out of 300.
Ugh, you. Such a grouch. Why are you always being a grunch?
Gangle, can you help Ragatha? I think she helps paint or something.
Huffing paint?
Huffing paint?
Until it
Bro.
Help paint or something.
Bro.
huffing paint and not waiting until a designated break? I'll be right there.
No, wait. I can do it. I just gotta grab the horseradish sauce. I miss my horses.
Here, let me help you with
Ah,
that.
she had horses.
Why are you even the boss anyway? I've
talking like an actual
I'm
ragdoll.
enough. Packages landing on my head, tea parties, dancing lessons. What's wrong with her? You know, a team works much better when we're all giving it 110% instead of, 5. No offense, but you're kind of annoying when you have your happy mask.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, is that mean to say? Zubul, help Ragatha with assembly. I'm gonna go over here now.
That's why. Okay, I see
Let's
now.
go over here now.
All them other videos always had that scene. I think it was from the other video. Yep. Yep. That's
Are you kidding me? Hey, Dango! I think the clock's broken.
Is it broken? Or are we the broken ones?
Great.
How long has this shift really gone on for? 6 hours? 8? 24? A week? A year? Does time even move in here? Will we ever go home? Will we ever achieve our dreams?
why is she freaking out now? It's a dream, so matter.
Yeah, that clock's broken.
Wow. Anyway.
Well, that was more info on Gloink reproduction than I ever needed to know.
Oh my god.
You move.
Yo, Jax. I, hate you, but I don't want you to hate me. Is that weird?
What?
You move.
Yo, Jax. I, hate you, but I don't want you to hate me. Is that weird?
You're drunk or something.
Oh, yeah. Huh.
How you doing?
Everything's been. I'm doing fine.
Why should hold back?
Wish I could say the same.
Jax, there's dishes back here. You got time to lean, you got time to clean. Jax, there's dishes back here. You got time to lean, you got time to clean.
God. I'm on it. Later, Poppy.
Oh, he's so nice now.
Later, Poppy.
He's so nice now. Since they're like, why was it? Oh my gosh, bro.
You good?
This is so cute.
Comedy mask is usually broken by now.
We're doing another one of these.
We're
Is
doing
the
another-
mask not making you happy? We're doing another one of these.
Yes, we are.
Is the mask not making you happy? Do you have anybody to talk to? Like, in regards to your issues? I'm sure Ragatha would like to help you out.
Oh, Ragatha. I love her, but after a while it gets kind of hard to tell how genuine she's actually being.
Ouch.
Well, maybe.
Anyway, we can't spend all night out here talking about our feelings. We've got work to do.
I swear her finger went into the door, man. Yep. New clock. Yep.
All right, I'm clocking out. This wasn't fun at all. See you all later.
Bro. You meant to go to Jack's 001? He's like a freaking fast food person, man. Yep. Wow. Yep. I'm feeling.
You know,
Serve
Ragatha-
what? Those who CBCK out early will be reported to upper management and dealt with appropriately. Disciplinary action. Oh, dealt with appropriate disciplinary action. Serve with a smash, jaga 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 duga. McDonald's.
You know, when Ragatha gets off, I feel like she might need a designated driver.
Why are you asking me? I'm closing tonight.
Oh, no, I meant I'd...
You can't see her in the reflection.
I'm closing tonight.
Oh, can you? Hold
No,
up.
Why are you asking me?
Nope, I can't see Zubu. I can just see two lights that looks very scary. But you can't see Zubu.
I'm closing tonight.
Oh, no, I meant I'd drive her home.
Oh. I think she gets off in an hour.
Okay, I can stick around until then.
Wow. Wait, that's how it's done?
Okay, I can stick around until then.
That's what happens? In McDonald's? They literally clean down the place like that? She carried her out, man. I'm surprised she could have done anything. Actually, I'm gonna...
Or
Okay, I can stick around until then.
she's looking at what the frick? Nah, Zubu is much bigger than before. Where's she giving the customers all the condiments as well? What's the point of moving that? Like, that's really a thing, no? Okay. You clean it, I guess. And it's just stood there the whole time. I guess Ragatha always had one eye. Dude, I'm so scared. I'm actually watching this in the dark. I don't like her white eye. I don't like having pupils at all. But isn't the adventure over?
You know, I can...
She was getting lost.
You know, I can close for you if you want.
huh?
If you want to get out of here, you can. You don't have to be stuck here alone. I can handle closing.
She's so
Would
cute.
that be okay?
The heck?
I think so. You should go home and get some rest.
But you wanted to be the manager. Pamela is so freaking cute. Oh, she's so adorable. What's she going out like that though? You said you like being a... Pamela is literally precious, wow.
What a weird day.
What the frick burger is that? Real meat. 31 pennies, you know. 31 literal pennies for that this size burger. And then some hot dog is freaking $57 and 57p. 57 again. Remember the 57 business, man. What's the point? Is it to mess with the theories? Literally, the first order was 57 and now they got 57.57 for a freaking burger. And everything else is... Damn, I thought the slab was huge. Mega stack, $1. Yeah, and then nuggets is $70. Just.
Weird day.
What a retarded menu.
What a weird day.
So where did everybody drive to? Did everybody have their money all of a sudden? What in the hell? Girl, it can't be this Ross. Bruh. That became the unhappy mask. Bloody hell! I effing knew it. I effing knew something was gonna happen. I expect the map to get wrecked, but not the whole of it. Freaking heck! Whole ass Optimus Prime.
Alrighty, let's get this performance review out of the way. Overall, pretty productive, made a lot of sales with few customer complaints. Couldn't help but notice, however, that you seem to have cut your own shift short, went a little kooky, and ran out into oncoming traffic. Now, being in a position of power like this, you could offload the blame to one of your employees and avoid the dock on your score. What do you think?
In it.
No, that was my responsibility.
Good.
I just cracked under the pressure, I suppose.
Well, that's gonna knock your overall score down to a B+. How's that sound? Speechless. I can't say I blame you. Not every executive is as forgiving as me.
Wait, who the hell had A+? There's 6 people in there. King had A+. It wasn't even around. My man literally went... What would you call that with a Red Bull? I don't know. Look at it on the ground. Oh, that is great. But why B+?
And that's it for the reviews. You have yourself a nice day. I'm such a good...
Okay.
Hey, what are you all the way out here for?
I messed everything up. The mask didn't work.
That's what she said, manga artists and blah blah and live off it earlier because that's what she likes doing.
And now I don't think anything up. The mask didn't work. And now I don't think anybody wants to talk to me anymore.
I still like talking to you. Look, the new mask was a bust. So what? I'm sure we'll find something that works eventually.
I don't deserve a friend like you.
Well, you've got one. Now, come on over and hang out with the rest of us. Bring your art too. I always like seeing what you draw.
She's been happy with this ad mask. As much as I like it, created, directed, and written by, I want to see who's the animator. That was a very serious F. 2D artist. Who? What's Alpha Friction? Wait, look who speaks as Zubu. Actually, I knew it was a ducking girl. Actually, the Zubu is a she. Various NPCs. Just various. Well, I guess Alex would be the Gummy-Goo, and Whitney's obviously the Zoic, whatever they want to call it. Concept artist, storyboard artist. But I don't see nothing named animator. Layout artist, asset production, animation production, Jacqueline, 3D artist. Okay. Texturing and surfacing. Huh. 2D's Gooseworks though. And these 2D's for the right here, the ending song. Lead 3D artist. Senior 3D artist. Dude, what's the difference? One's just around longer. What the frick? Environment artist, rigging production. Damn. King is so cute. I'm so sorry that got left out in this one, but whatever. Yeah, I obviously expected high levels of comedy, but meh. Serious episode is serious episode if they wanted to do a serious episode. Whatever. Scene assembly, Mark again. Junior Rigger. And it's a lot of people. I know I didn't watch the trailer. 1.8 million, you know. It's crazy how they get more views than the sub count when they're in the millions with the sub anyways. It's absolutely insane, man. This hurt me. What in the frick? Anyways. That's broken. Anyways, comment. Oh, blah, blah, blah. I love how confused Pamela gets when Jax acts normal. Exactly towards her. Like, he doesn't say anything mean, asks how she is. Because he's now traumatized by reality of working a dead-end job with no way up. Great episode. They are monsters. Analysis. Okay, fine. I'm glad they finally covered one of the most important yet depressing topics I've seen in fiction. Not depersonalization, not the fear of death, not the processing of grief, not even masking our emotions to hide our deepest insecurities. Truly, the most saddening thing in this series is making people work fast food. You're damn right. I appreciate how it's pointed out that Ragata's friendliness is at a point to where people couldn't be certain of her being genuine. Been in that position before where I was too nice to the point it was inauthentic and it hurt people. What a zinger. Anyway, how much comments? Freaking 6 figures comments, you know. It's less than a week old. King are going on his own adventure to the farm and getting an A+ seems to so awesome. I appreciate Pamela taking a backseat for this episode and allowing the rest of the cast to be fleshed out. She always takes a backseat though, right? What was the last episode? Well, she kind of was in the backseat, but not really, because it was about King and more time, but whatever. One thing I also noticed at the ending is that when Zubo was talking to Gangu, she wiped the tears on her face, and her sad mask now looks like a happy mask, meaning that she no longer needs the mask herself and her feelings to be happy, truly beautiful. She smiled before on her sad mask, though. I mean, happy mask. I mean, sad mask. Yeah. I love how Agatha kind of has moments where she stops being the mom of the group and actually kind of expresses her emotions, even though she's kind of high as a kite, especially when she says, Jax, I hate you, but I don't want you to hate me. There's this one where, yeah. I like how Pamela was relatively stable throughout all of this, especially, I mean, easily the most stable we've seen her so far. Anyway, she's just comfortable when things aren't weird and are relatively normal. Yeah, she's comfortable with the world now, I guess. I'm so happy for him. You don't see a deleted scene of episode 4 King with Kane talking about milk and cereal. What the frick? It's funny how not being present period wasn't lead to being judged, since all the others ended up in the same score. Bit of a comical large sign of that Kane is off his rocker. I don't know what you just said. I appreciate it. Pointing out. Yeah, this is the one. What in the? Okay. I haven't been that nice. I cracked and got an inferiority complex and a superiority complex. I'm too self-centered, but yeah, never met someone that nice. Most just have anxiety or are fake, trying to make friends by faking themselves or people pleasing. Anyway, good luck with that. No one's perfect anyway, just like no system is. Just have to put up with each other. To be honest, haven't seen presentation of such personality that much in the media, so I'm not happy. Wait, what?
Have to be stuck here alone. I can handle closing.
Me? What point out? This okay. As much as I understand that opinion, I forget. Where is okay? Well, two more. The way Gumigo expression shift when Pomni mentions his name. First, it's surprised she knows his name, yeah. Then shocked, and then he becomes sad and tries to reach her with his hand, did he? And later, when she goes out to talk to him as he's leaving, he makes a sad expression, and the song that played when they were bonding in episode 2. Oh, really makes me think he remembered her. Oh, no, but then she seems to have noticed it too and just let him go instead. Yeah, well, I did thought that. But I brushed it off because I'm like, well, they're not playing with it, and then I'm like, will he acknowledge it? But then he just like, okay, bye. Like, have a good day, huh? I see. I thought the same thing when I saw the way he looked at her as he was walking away. Thank you for helping me notice this. He looks sad to leave, which could be nothing, but could be something. Gosh damn, that gummy crocodile is going to make me cry again. See, I got a different feeling from this scene. His expression, especially how his eyes slightly shift to the door then back to her, make it seem like it's more comfortable, anxious. Yeah, me too. Oh, this weird stalker girl is here. Yeah, that's what I thought. But then I'm like, wait a minute. And then he pissed off and I'm like, nah. Same dude, I was like, wait, something's up. Gumigo shall return, we all love him. Or maybe he only sort of remembers. That would fall more in line with what we already know. Which is, yeah, I'm thinking he remembers her too at 10:22 as he's leaving. There seems to be a subtle head shake. It's like he's asking her to not draw attention to him. Oh, shit! To not draw attention to him, otherwise Kane might realize he didn't wipe Gumigo's memories and would finish the job. Oh, that's sick! Or maybe I'm reading too much into it. Like, this creepy weirdo is coming on to me. I need to make sure. Huh.
I just want to wish you a pleasant day. Thanks for eating at Spudsy's.
Have a good one, miss.
That's a good one indeed. It could mean something. It
Thanks
might mean.
for eating at Spudsy's.
It might be absolutely nothing. Oof.
You a pleasant day.
Come now.
I think I am.
It's beautiful.
The textures, man. The textures.
Hey,
Oh.
I just want to wish you a pleasant day.
It's crazy.
Thanks for eating at
It's
Spudsy's.
crazy. Oh, you can kind of see the reflection, but you can't at the same time because, like, I can't see him in her
Have a
eyes.
good one, miss.
Heck, I don't know. I don't know if he actually remembers her or not.
Oh, Jax! The bathroom looks like a biohazard and needs a good scrubbing.
To be honest, I haven't seen presentation of such personality that much in media. Yo, close man, close. Wait, close. Oh, the amount of comments, it probably got like 20 comments at least since I've started watching it. It might be 11 days old, but I'm sure at least 20. What the frick was that? Oh. At 6:30, 18:31, I love the detail of Grango's happy mask eyes turning the exact shape of the sad mask. Makes me wonder what would have happened if Pomni wasn't there. Yeah. I guess, yeah. That part scared me,
You
man.
know, I can close for you if you want.
Huh?
If you want to get out of here, you can. You don't have to be stuck here alone. I can handle closing.
Would that be okay?
The whole of time here it looks like the
I
sad
think
mask.
so. You should go home and get some rest. What a weird day.
What? 17, I really like the parallels between Jax and Gango here. As much as Jax messes with Gango, they're similar in the sense that they're always wearing a mask. Gango, bro, that part's the weirdest part. Wait. You know what, this part. Jack's message with Gango, they're similar in the sense that they're always wearing a mask. Gango's literally always wearing a mask, though in this episode metaphorically too, and she probably was like this when she was a ship manager in Reworld, and Jack seems to be wearing a mask metaphorically around others. Oh, I love this comment so much. I was for real thinking Gango was giving Jax the torture treatment for a second. Your comment fits so real because he cared more about how people would see him in the moment than what would have happened. Right. Well, that's kind of his resting face. Still love him.
You know, when Ragatha gets off, I feel like she might need a designated driver.
Why are you asking
I love how the
me?
glowing queen straight up devours multiple mannequins upon Tribic but scolds at children for tormented one. You're damn right.
She gets off and now?
She's cool with murder, but she draws the line at torture. It's the do as I say, not as I do type of mentality. They shouldn't be playing with their food. Actually cracked me up how unserious this comment was compared to the other one. Don't play with your food. They are just in their larva phase, but they can't eat and digest like their mother. But they try to emulate like she does. Learning most like, oh, that was too funny. By far my favorite ep, genuinely made me connect with everyone more. Made me feel deeper for all of them. What a creative episode. Congratulations to the script writers and the team. Definitely a good ep, but not the best one. This sign is super interesting, man.
Kinda hard to tell how genuine she's actually being.
Cock. I'm probably gonna ask a comment now. 16 what? Anyway, when she said we're doing another one of those, I love how she just instantly recognizes the recurring pattern of her being some sort of awkward therapist. Where is it? 16 what? 16. Bruh. Bro. YouTube need to do this highlight thing where if you click the timestamp of a comment and it goes back to the video, the comment gets highlighted. You know what I mean? Anyways, 16. I cannot find it. Oh, wait, no. Yep, it's after this one. 16, 16, 16. Got it. 1636. This line is super interesting. Ragata is portrayed as the emotional rock as the group of the group, but Gango, who wears a number of masks, probably understands that Ragata is wearing a mask of her own. Wonder where this line leads to. Probably won't wait too long considering the next episode related to Ragata here. Gooseworks also said something about how it's funny how everyone is talking about evil Ragata considering episode 5 or something like that. We'll see. Oh, I didn't remember Gooseworks said that. I'm even more excited for the next episode now. She also just called her annoying. So seeing Ragata's true thoughts about everyone this episode was literally really fascinating. Everyone. She only mentioned Jax. Curiously, we didn't Curiously, we didn't get to hear what she thought of Pomni, but I'm sure that'll come out in later episode. It seems like every character is getting their spotlight. She doesn't seem like a bad person, but definitely not as positive and upbeat as she acts. Her calling Gangle annoying really hurt though. That shite sucks to hear. Yeah, but she was wasted. Hi Funky Gamer 1234. Sup? We're moving on. What fantastical elements. Nothing is more horrifying than seeing a relatively realistic mental breakdown in a relatively grounded setting. Never have I related more to Gango than now. This whole episode felt like Gango was trying a new treatment for her depression only for it not to work at all and have terrible side effects. Also, love that time lapse at 1755. Really gives me some Breaking Bad vibes. Yeah, that was next level. What the frick? She literally carried Ragata out. Okay, where's this analysis? Jack's real side. There's something about analysis. Yeah, this Cartoon University, no?
The amazing digital circus is a place where all of the characters can feel rather innocent due to the childlike atmosphere of the in-world game. However, with each passing episode, we get deeper into each character's past, and it's becoming clear that while they are all great characters, none of them are necessarily good people. As it wasn't just Gangle's mask that slipped in the recent episode, so to speak, but really, we got insight into a lot of how all of them actually operate on a deeper level. My name is Deep in the Box, welcome back to Cartoon Universe, and let's discuss the monster beneath each of these characters. Early on in the Digital Circus's release, Gooseworks put out a post saying that out of all of the different characters, Jax deserves to be there the most, which is very particular wording. First, Gooseworks said he deserved to be there the most, indicating that they all deserve to be there on some level. From a storytelling perspective, Gooseworks is working on the idea that these characters aren't just innocent souls trapped in a video game, and instead, the Digital Circus is becoming a place where people fall victim to their own personal issues, at least those who are unwilling to work through them. It's no secret that the show has a lot of parallels to Christianity and Gnosticism, with the Digital Circus being presented as a sort of hell that the characters are trapped in. As far as these characters can see ahead, it's basically just a prison where they are under the control of an entity who thinks himself as something of a god, but who only ever seems to make them suffer like a devil. With that in mind, the show is dealing thematically with what these characters deserve, not in a literal sense, as they are human, and as humans we tend to understand their issues. But instead, the real monster inside of them is the one that creates their own personal prison in the Digital Circus.
You say what, no?
Part 1, damn their issues. But instead, the real monster inside of them is the one that creates their own personal prison in the Digital Circus. Part 1, Gangle. The most obvious of characters setting themselves up for failure is Gangle, who in the most recent episode created her own personal hell. This was interesting as on some level it was somewhat therapeutic for her, but it was also a trying ordeal that seemed to leave her feeling worse than when she started. The Digital Circus is essentially a fantasy land, and because of that, the characters do have the opportunity to make it something of a heaven. It's hard to do that when you feel limited and trapped, but they could take what the universe has given them and try to make the best of it. Gangle's idea to actually work a normal job for a day was actually pretty smart, because it shows the characters can get Kane to give them a situation they actually want, even if just at a moment's notice. King does also want to show off his personal creations, and they do have to put up with that, but the situation that Gangle gets into at Spudsy's was entirely her own creation. The problem is she didn't use it to create something that would be refreshing for everyone, but instead created something that was refreshing only for her because of the fuel she is able to milk from the others. What Gangle wanted was to be in charge, and the only place she really knew to be in charge was a place like Spudsy's, where there's very simple jobs and her place in it is just to match everyone else up with what they need to be doing. She gets a rush out of being the boss, not by actually leading people, but by just telling them to keep going when they're clearly tired. Her job is to make other people suffer more with a smile on her face, and it unfortunately gives her a feeling of success. Jax is a character we'll talk more about later, but with this example, we can see that Gingle desires a similar type of fuel that Jax gets from the others as well. He's a typical bully, and by being a bully, he gets to be the boss of everyone, because everyone is living in fear of him and reacting to his antics. And all of this gives him energy. Gangle gets the same kind of energy, just from a different kind of situation. The episode made it seem like this kind of control is something she only needs here and there. Perhaps even just in response to other people trying to have authority over her, such as a bully like Jax. But with Gangle being a shift manager in her real-life job outside of the digital circus, that means she was doing these same behaviors pretty much every day. Gangle's life was miserable, but what she got was fuel for making other people more miserable than her, and using the fact that she can hide her own misery as a way to get herself ahead of them in the workplace. At the end of the day, that doesn't mean Gangle deserves to be the digital circus, but rather, when placed into a limited space like the digital circus, her existing traits, both positive and negative, dictate what she puts herself through, just like with everyone else. And because of some of her more toxic traits, she chose to put herself and the others through a shift at Spudsy's. She's the perfect reminder that real-life people don't tend to be all good or evil, but rather we're a mixture of both, with us trying our best to put the positive traits up front to make us look like a smiling, happy children's toy in order to hide the monster beneath the surface that also exists. It doesn't make the positive parts of us fake, and the same is true for Gangle, and the show seems to be exploring this with every character, giving us characters who are nuanced people instead of just NPCs set on default of naturally good or evil. Part
Bro.
2, Ragatha.
He's the best faces, to be honest.
Within the same episode that we explored Gangle's monster within, we also got a glimpse of the monster inside of Ragatha. Kanan referred to this adventure as an honest, hard day's work at Spudsy's, and because of that, the characters were sometimes manipulated to more so feel like stereotypes of restaurant workers. Ragatha is usually the character that acts the most stable, calm, and polite. But while working at Spudsy's, she's suddenly acting very not sober when she gets hit by the restaurant's signature stupid sauce, which one NPC claims actually makes you stupid. This led to a lot of jokes about her being not sober, with Gangle even referencing that she should be waiting until a designated break to huff paint. This just ends up making Ragatha a bit more honest than usual, with her saying more so what she is thinking as she thinks it, instead of the final thought that she normally filters for.
No offense, but you're kind of annoying when you have your happy mask. Wait, is that mean to say?
Notice how she says what she's thinking, and then afterwards wonders out loud if what she said was wrong. She clearly doesn't want to say something mean, but she said it before she could think about it, and it really repaints her entire character. Until now, I would have thought of Ragatha as naturally nice, but Gangle was already having trouble connecting with her, it would seem. Pomni even points to Ragatha as someone she assumes would be perfect for Gangle to talk to about her emotional issues. But Gangle explained that she doesn't trust that Ragatha means what she says. This can lead to feeling like someone is condescending you instead of helping you, and as we see in the beginning of the episode, Ragatha is more focused on punishing Jax than helping Gangle. Ragatha is really no different from Gangle in this episode, putting herself out there as the manager of the humans to such a degree that Pomni feels like she's unqualified just to have an emotional talk with Gangle instead of her. It makes her an interesting character because having bad or crude first thoughts doesn't make you bad yourself, and she knows to double check herself. She may have learned this growing up, which she indicates was a stressful experience in this episode, with rambling mentions of dance lessons and tea parties. At one point, she also mentions missing having horses, and it gave the impression that Ragatha came from a rich family that had high expectations of her. In this sort of situation, she would have been taught at a very young age to filter her thoughts, and to instead manipulate people with your kindness. Having crude initial thoughts doesn't make you a bad person, as I said, but it can definitely make you see someone differently when you realize that, like Ragatha, they have all these negative thoughts about you before they come to the conclusion that they want you to hear. And it once again gives the impression that sometimes hiding behind those nice words, we have a monster saying hurtful things. Part 3, Kinger.
Damn, that's what they gave him.
In episode 3 of the show, we saw a little bit of this deconstruction with Kinger.
Kinger can't be a monster, it's
It was a lot
pure.
more metaphorical. With Gangle at Spudsy's, we got to see a literal day in the life of Gangle before she came to the amazing digital circus. But in episode 3, the implications come from the surreal horror that manifests around Kinger. In this episode, we learned that Kinger had once lived in the digital circus with his wife Queenie. We now know that Queenie has abstracted, and in this episode, we get the implication that it was actually Kinger's fault. This can be seen in the game that Kane created, where Kinger is paralleled with the story of an angel hunter who ends up shooting his own wife while trying to solve the mystery of a monster. This is implied to be similar to what happened to Kinger within the circus itself, when he tells Pomni that the most important thing you can do is make sure that someone doesn't feel unloved by you. Something she seemed to take very seriously in this new episode with Gangle. The implication here is that, at the very least, Kinger is the one responsible for his wife abstracting emotionally. He implies here that he was the one who made his wife feel unloved, and in a place where they really had no one but each other. With the story of the angel hunter in the haunted mansion, we also get the implication that Kinger is obsessive to a fault. Not just so much that he might have accidentally hurt someone, that Kinger is obsessive to a fault. Not just so the haunted mansion, we also get the implication that Kinger is obsessive to a fault. Not just so much that he might have accidentally hurt someone, but that he becomes the monster he was fearing with his paranoia and declining mental state. Part 4, Zooble.
Damn, goodness
Zooble is a character we know.
Bro.
Part 4, Zooble.
Bro.
Zooble is a character we know a lot less about, but I've had it pointed out to me that Zooble's therapy session with Kane may say a lot more about their real-life experience than the interaction with levels that we see with Kinger or Gangle. In Zooble's subplot for episode 3, Kane tries to get to the bottom of why Zooble doesn't like his adventures, but he is unable to understand Zooble's more human issues. The show deals a lot with mental health, with abstraction being a sort of final breakdown, Kinger being more so generically insane, and Gangle talking about having a manic episode. Zooble is portrayed in this scene as very much in the right, not just because Kane is incapable of understanding the needs of humans who don't want to be stuck in a video game, but because Kane also doesn't want to understand these issues. The problem, however, is that Zooble literally tells Kane to forget about everything they said when Kane struggles to understand. Kane is an artificial intelligence program, and even if you figuratively say, forget about it, he takes it very literally. And he even explains to Zooble that they won't let Kane remember these things even though he's trying to help. Zooble is ultimately one of the few characters who doesn't seem to have a monster underneath, simply letting out their honest truth instead of hiding anything. And while that makes Zooble more angry on the surface, you can't really blame them with the situation that they are in. And it still makes you feel like you're having a more authentic interaction with them than someone like Ragatha, who is trying to be helpful, but who is still being rather manipulative. But I've seen it suggested by at least one commenter that this therapy session may allude to their life before the circus, one filled with therapy, and one where Zooble is still generally rejecting any help that is actually offered. Zooble is a complex character, and like I said, maybe one of the few who are generally a good person. But there may also be something of a monster hiding under these different toy parts that Zooble has pieced together to form something of a temporary identity. Part 5, Pomni. Pomni is our main character and the one who seems the most pure, but even in the beginning there were hints that she wasn't the best person, abandoning her to try. We saw this when even in the beginning there were hints that she wasn't the best person that she could be. We saw this when Ragatha was hurt and asking for help, and Pomni ended up abandoning her to try and get out of the game.
She did
By
try
getting out of the
to,
game, she could more so help the others, of course, don't get me wrong, but she took a risk because she was more afraid of her own safety than helping others. I don't really want to paint someone as being a monster simply for being human, and this kind of flight or fight response is definitely very human. But if we're exploring who characters might be a little behind their mask, this would be a place to start with Pomni. She is sweet and well-meaning, and even when it comes to the NPCs, she wants to help them when they experience pain similar to her own. And what she did for Gangle at the end of their shift was absolutely beautiful. But there is always the possibility that Pomni may have a monster inside of her as well. Part of me does want to believe that Pomni is a Jesus figure, what with her red and blue outfit Jesus is wearing in this recreation of the Last Supper. But if she does have a monster hidden inside of Jesus' wearing in this recreation of the Last Supper, but if she does have a monster hidden inside of her, it may be that she abandoned others in real life, leading to someone perhaps deciding that she deserved to be put into the digital circus. Part 6, Jax. Jax is a character who is pretty overtly evil in the show, wanting to inflict misery on others just for easy narcissistic fuel. He makes it hard to call other characters monsters because of how much their issues could be seen as a response to his own behavior. Even if those toxic traits of the other characters have origins before Jax, he takes an already unsafe environment and keeps harassing you. And that is not the kind of situation where people can stay healthy. The scary thing about this is it's all rather simple compared to what we've seen for some of the other characters, or at least what's been hinted at them in their real lives. We could say that there isn't more to Jax and that he really is just a bully and that this bullying is enough for him to actually
That's one of the best scenes ever.
But it gives the impression that somewhere below the surface, there's even more horrifying ideas that Jax has that he simply doesn't go through with. He's a character I should be maybe saying a lot more about in this kind of video. But the truth is that I'm absolutely horrified about what we might actually learn about him, as I don't think it's going to be justification for the way he acts, and instead something that's going to make us hate him even more, even if we understand him. And a lot of people are kind of upset when we aren't seeing him become nicer instead of more mean. But what about you guys? Let me know what you think each Digital Circus character is doing to themselves in this digital hellscape in the comments down below. See you guys next time.
Made you cry. That's it.
Episode 4 of The Amazing Digital Circus is now one of my favorite episodes of television ever. So let's talk about what it is about Gangle's journey that made it so amazing. My name is Deep Cut. Gamers call me Deep in the Box or Jack Cut sometimes. And if you subscribe in the Digital Circus, do you subscribe in real life? Now, each episode of The Amazing Digital Circus is supposed to focus on a different character, with the previous episode being more about Zooble and Kane, and today's episode being more about Gangle. We all knew that things would get pretty dramatic for the character-centric episodes as we got more into the stories, and Gangle so far is the greatest example of that. With this being a prime example of something actually being a great episode, instead of just having a moment within it that makes the episode itself feel great. In this episode, Gangle manages to convince Kane to do an adventure where they just work a normal fast food job, something Gangle did in real life before ending up in the circus, and something that Gangle acts like she enjoys. But of course, there's so much more going on here than what's on the surface. The episode opened with Gangle sad because her comedy mask had been broken, but thanks to Zooble with their many parts, Gangle is able to find a new comedy mask, which seems to totally change her mood. As Gangle explains, it makes her feel normal, and normal becomes an important theme for the episode.
Right.
For instance, when Gangle manages to convince Kane to let them work at a fake fast food joint, she also convinces him to make her the shift manager, just like she was at her job in real life. With her new comedy mask making her smile, Gangle is able to approach this job in a seemingly positive way, and it seems like simulating her real life is something that would be good for her. But as the episode goes on, she starts to crack, and we get a look at her real issues. This starts with Jax refusing to work, and Zooble not wanting to either. So Gangle calls up Kane to make sure there is some sort of punishment for those who don't follow her orders. This is already very concerning on its own, but at first you want to just believe it's what Gangle has. Gangle calls up Kane to make sure there is some sort of punishment for
the boss. With the top. I love it.
Those who don't follow her orders. This is already very concerning on its own, but at first you want to just believe it's what Gangle has to do for her form of therapy. But as the episode goes on, we see it's a lot less about therapy and a lot more about this addictive feeling of control. When Pomni later takes the time to talk to Gummy Goo, for instance, Gangle has a little freak out and claims that Pomni thinks her authority isn't real just because the game itself isn't real. A lot of this seems to come from Gangle letting go of her childhood dreams, which we learn about in a training tape that Jax has to watch when he doesn't want to work. Here, Gangle mentions how working at Spudsies also means letting go of your dreams, such as creating your own manga-styled webcomic. This is kind of the anime nerd equivalent to becoming something like a big actor or celebrity, and it's something that feels attainable to a lot of young people because all they have to do is work on one comic. But that can take a long time to become successful if it ever does. And in that time, a lot of people are still expected to get a job in order to help make ends meet and support themselves. This in turn takes up too much time and energy for the person to actually pursue their dream, and what little time they do have, they want to spend resting and having fun, so it ends up just crushing the dream entirely. It's kind of a devastating reveal to the audience for an indie animation cartoon character, where a lot of us watching the show have that very same dream of making Japanese-style webcomics or even our own animated series. The question becomes, why does Gingle crave working at a fast food restaurant for an adventure instead of just asking Kane for more time to work on her comics like we see at the end of the episode? Zooble acts like Gingle hadn't worked on her comics in a while there, indicating that the events at Spudsy's are what inspired her to return to it. But it does make sense to me that she'd need to work at a place like Spudsy's again before she can indulge that. As Gingle made clear with Jax and Pomni, what she really wants is control, and having control over others gives her a sense of security and safety. Working on webcomics is fun, but you have no control over the audience or your own success, and it can be really hard to keep putting yourself out there after years of trying and getting no real audience. What Gangle has in the digital circus is unlimited time to just make comics that virtually no one is going to read except for her closest friend Zooble. So despite how toxic Gangle acts, returning to Spudsy's is something of a comforting experience, one that returns the illusion of control by making her the boss of the others. Fast food jobs have a reputation for being very negative experiences, and it's pretty exhausting work no matter how good the pay is or how accommodating the management is, which is often just not the case. I don't want to speak about this subject acting like there aren't people who have very happy and healthy lives while working at these sort of places, both as entry-level workers and management. But I also just understand how any job can feel like a terrible job if all you are doing is exhausting yourself instead of doing what you dream about. To be the shift manager at a fast food location, you should be organized, good with people, and very observant more than anything else, I'd say. And the show isn't trying to paint all fast food jobs or managers as bad. But with Gangle, they are using this specific job as a sort of shell to explain the psychology of a specific type of person who can end up at this sort of position. As a manager, Gangle actually has to do very little except open and close, and even at the end of the shift, she's mostly just standing around alone. And this means going through a checklist of very basic jobs to turn on machines and lights, but throughout the day, what gives Gangle real joy is telling other people what to do. As she says to Jax when he's tired and just trying to take a break, if you have time to lean, you have time to clean. And at this kind of job, a manager can be generally trying to make sure you are always working, instead of trying to maximize your work potential. And that is what Gangle is trying to do here. She's trying to always make sure someone else is working, so she can feel like she is bossing them around. Gangle is the type of person who had no control anywhere in her personal life, and the way she's talking to Jax in her training tape gives me the feeling that she was talked to this way by one of her parents. An authority figure in her life who wanted her to get something of a real job, and the fact that Gangle takes so much pride in being a shift manager in particular seems to indicate that her parents saw this as a good thing as well. And even if it's not what we think of as a typically successful job, it was something that made her feel good because her parents finally accepted her when they wouldn't accept her as she was. However, this doesn't mean she was actually a better worker than anyone else in particular. And instead, I think this episode paints her as getting this shift management position because she just puts on this smiling face and acts like everything is great while working at the job. Most of the other employees at her real-life workplace were probably more like Pomni, Jax, and even Ragatha, who is acting severely not sober in order to make her feel like that one restaurant employee that we all know. Despite Spudsy's being a dream killer, it would quickly make it the one place in real life where Gangle felt like she had control, with her being desperate to milk every shift for as much validation as she could as a leader, but where she is always wearing a very fake smile. Throughout the episode, characters point out that they like her more when she isn't smiling. Not just the normally rude Jax, but even Ragatha and her altered state of mind. We do see that Gangle is able to change her expression both on her comedy and tragedy mask. So at the end of the day, that's all they really are, just a mask. Just ornaments she puts on that allows her to visually express a tone. But tools which don't actually change how she feels inside, and that's a heavy thing for a character to carry. In the real world, Gangle was basically promoted because she had a very happy attitude. Having a happy attitude, even if fake, was what got her ahead of everyone else. Yet it also seems to make everyone else treat her like she isn't very serious, like she herself is just some sort of NPC. They may obey her as an authority at the workplace, but even Ragatha, who is usually very friendly to Zooble, is admitting to finding Gangle's forced positivity hard to deal with. I think it's very telling that Gangle's sadness gets noticeably deeper when Jax leaves the restaurant, with him saying that it wasn't fun as he exits. Gangle probably didn't expect him to say it was fun, but his quick dig just reminds her that she took a chance to get closer to others, and instead squeezed them for her own addiction of validation. Not that Jax doesn't deserve it with the constant harassment he does to Gangle, but as we see at the end of the episode, she could have used it as a chance to grow closer to the others, like Zooble. Zubul is an important character this episode because we can see exactly the kind of friend that they try to be to others. While Zubul seems like they want to avoid everyone and everything, they really just want to avoid Jax, who again deserves that with his legitimate harassment of the others. And Zubul seems to want to support Gangle in particular, with this being emphasized thanks to Ragatha, interestingly. Ragatha is generally seen as the mom of the group or older sister, just the nurturing figure who tries to help everyone work on their needs and issues in an emotionally healthy way. With this attitude, however, Ragatha is essentially the shift manager of the digital circus lobby. Like Gangle at Spudsy's, Ragatha puts on a mask to seem positive to everyone, but that doesn't mean she actually likes you. Ragatha instead is shown to be more motivated against Jax even when she seems to be helping others, and after Jax hurts Gangle, Ragatha's first instinct is to begin arguing with Jax again. While at Spudsy's, Ragatha's non-sober state allows her to say what is really on her mind, revealing that she has some pretty crude thoughts that she doesn't normally let out in her sober state. While she's normally so nice to Gangle and hating Jax, we see that without her sobriety or her ability to put on a mask really, Ragatha is literally no different from Jax. Don't get me wrong, it'd be funny if every character, even Pomni, said that Gangle wasn't as fun with the comedy mask on. But by making it just Jax and just Ragatha, it shows how Ragatha is just putting on an act when she's trying to be nice. In the same way, Gangle is no different from the other employees, both in the circus and who she worked with in real life. She's just putting on a mask to seem helpful and friendly, allowing her to be successful instead of actually happy. And this is why Gangle tells Pomni that she can't talk to Ragatha about her feelings, as she doesn't know if anything Ragatha says is even genuine. Zubul notices this when they see Gangle walking out of the room after Ragatha's mean comment, and because of that, they make an effort to be there for Gangle when the work is over. Even with the way Gangle acted overall, Zubul showed they really do care about Gangle in what was a heartwarming end to an already amazing episode, with Zubul wanting to see the comics that Gangle had been drawing. The episode is amazing commentary, with the premise of the characters being trapped in a 3D video game, emphasizing how it feels to put on these masks of emotion. To have all of these feelings inside of us that don't match what is supposed to be a joyful exterior that you are legally mandated to wear for work. For Gangle in particular, if there's no one around to present herself to, she begins to just disassociate. She doesn't just double down on her sadness, but we can clearly see she also begins to just disconnect from everything around her, going into a blurry haze before being pulled out of it by Pomni. Pomni offered quite the kindness when she decided to stay late so that Gangle could go home early, despite the conflicts that they had had earlier. Pomni could have used the letter of the law against Gangle to make her stay alone after she let Gummigoo get away, but at the end of the day, she knew Gangle was going through her own issues. What Gangle wanted was her dream day at work, one where she was a good boss and everyone else smiled like good employees, and then everyone went home happy, feeling like they did a good day's work and made some money. Pomni didn't jump on this idea right away, but when she realized this, she knew it would make Gangle a lot happier to be able to leave early instead of dealing with the worst part of the game alone. This partly inspires Gangle to have an amazing moment with an authentic smile, one where she isn't wearing a comedy mask, and probably the only real smile we've seen of hers until the end of the episode, where she smiles again, saying that she doesn't deserve a friend like Zubul. It's so interesting how this is what it took for Gangle to be happy, as we like to imagine us being happier just working on our comics full-time and not having to worry about a job or income. But there's just something so freeing about getting out after a hard day's work that you can't just help but look back fondly on. Like controlling the others by being the shift manager, you could say that there is something of a rush or high that Gangle gets, but there's also something very spiritual about the scene where Gangle finally does smile. Something that goes beyond that high or Pomni's little kindness and emphasizes something deep about Gangle's own nature. At the end of the day, working at a fast food place with Gangle's mindset is a series of highs and lows, and getting out of work was perhaps the greatest high she knew. Finally getting to take off the mask after she had burnt herself out on the validation and emotional breakdowns. But as you saw, this led unfortunately to Gangle being hit by a car. Of course, this is a game, so Gangle is fine, but with Kane saying that this would be like a real-life job, and this being modeled off of Gangle's experiences in particular, it hints at Gangle actually having been hit by a car after work one day. It could explain why someone would try and put her in the digital circus, because if she had become paralyzed from an accident like this sort of video game could have been the only way to try and experience something like life again. To not feel trapped in your body in a hospital room all day, even if you're just trapped in an avatar. It's definitely something I want to talk about more in a video soon, as the implications of this for the greater story are massive. But let me know in the comments down below what other topics I should tackle for Digital Circus Madness this week. Thanks for those who made it this far. If you really love the amazing Digital Circus, consider joining our early access membership club, where you get access to cool emojis of your favorite cartoon characters to use right here in the comment section, including our recently added Jax and Pomni emojis. You also get early access to some of our pet projects, where we're working on a big video explaining the secret story of Lucifer hidden in the Bible, and where we recently had our big video explaining the secret story of Lucifer hidden in the Bible, and where we recently had our big video explaining the real-life history behind the Atlantis myth and the Disney movie it inspired. If you haven't seen it, go check that out, as even if you don't like or haven't seen the movie, it's got a lot of cool material that you might like. See you guys next time. Man, I do love running, especially when it's away from women who are madly in love with me. It's away from women who are Man, I do love running, especially when it's away from women who are madly in love with me.
Okay.
But one thing I never run from is another man.
One thing I don't want to what?
But one thing I never run from is another man. Well, 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 if it isn't my arch rival, Racer Rabbit, Shady the Bat, you're here for the magic crystal as well?
Did he say Shady?
Racer Rabbit, Shady the Bat,
Oh my
you're
gosh.
here for the magic crystal as well?
It's a cartoon universe, although it's a chick character? I thought it was a guy. Probably does both genders. Are they dead? How each character made it to the... Ooh, look, wait a minute. That's the same cartoon universe. Oh, that's the video he was on about, right? I'm bipolar and I've seen myself in Gango at many points during this episode. Even Pomni's "We're doing this again" made me wince. It's my favorite today. Proof that no matter the horrors going on in the circus, they don't even begin to hold a candle to revive. Good one. The quiet moment were the ones that really got to me in this one. They got me all confused. I'm like, why she going mad? Gango's arc in this episode is how a lot of us feel. YouTube is a good example for small channels. You spend hours and weeks working on videos and get few views. It can be very discouraging when you're trying to make this a job when you enjoy it. Yeah, that's the thing, you have to suffer first, then, you know. Anyways, good advice, don't hold back your feelings because this will hurt you and those around you. I just noticed in Jack's car, you can see number 001 in his plate number. I think it's because Jax was the first one who arrived. Good one. I like that. I believe Kingham was the first there. They said he was there the longest. Oh, well, okay, fine. True, he was there the longest. I think this even longer than his wife? Nah, they didn't say that. Anyways, I think this exact quote uttered by Jax first part is important. Oh, Kingham over there is supposedly been here the longest. The word supposedly doesn't make it a fact, just general assumed believed to be truth. Good point. I think it's interesting to think about the possibility that Jack was indeed the first person to arrive at the circus, but for some reason he plays along and likes to pretend that he doesn't know anything. Jack seemingly loves to be secretive about things. Good point. Gango's masks are like metaphors for her feelings, such as when Jax does something mean to her, happy mask shatters to a sad one. Okay, good point. So when Zubu gave Gango a new mask, it was like a new perspective to think from and act like. But in reality, she was just masking her feelings. Huh. Okay. Are you sure Jax doesn't break the comedy mask on purpose for good reason? And this time in this episode, Jax really didn't mean to. Back when I used to work in fast food place, there was one time where an employee set the toilet in the men's room on fire. He tried to get back to work like nothing happened, but we all saw the scorch marks on the toilet seats and found bits of burnt toilet paper everywhere. Let me tell you the moment of levity after getting out of an extremely stressful shift at work is so real, including the threat of falling into oncoming traffic. Life be lifting sometimes, but you can't get through it one day at a time. Uh, I love this episode and I love that Gangu got the front seat here, and I love Pamela Zubo being nice to her.
With the previous episode being more about Zool and Kane, and today's episode being more about Gangle. We all knew that things would get pretty dramatic for the character-centric episodes as we The most recent episode of The Amazing Digital Circus gave us a really interesting glimpse into the life of Gangle. Not just showing us where she worked, but potentially how she somehow ended up in the digital circus by getting hit by a bus. So let's talk about this.
In the previous episode, man says car, and I'm said bus. Bro, don't know the name of the vehicle, man.
Circus by getting hit by a bus.
Now hold on, struck, man.
Let's talk about this and how other characters like Kinger in particular may have hints about their own backstories in other episodes. My name is Deepka, welcome back to the channel, and let's jump into it. Now, the premise of The Amazing Digital Circus is that each of these avatarized characters is actually a human consciousness trapped in a video game. Pomni makes this clear when she tries to take off the VR headset all the way back in episode 1, but somehow the VR goggles don't come off. The characters are shown to forget their names in the show, and because of that, a lot of people thought that the characters didn't remember anything from before the game, but it's been clarified online and in the show now that this isn't the case. There have been a lot of theories about how and why this would happen, but the most recent episode seems to point to Gangle at the very least being trapped here after being hit by a car in her human life.
Shock!
In the episode, Kane creates the adventure that he calls an honest day's hard labor at the fast food chain for Spudsies, with the word honestly here being used to reflect Gangle's honest experience working at Spudsies in real life. This included real work and emotional highs and lows, but also the mysterious ending where Gangle almost gets hit by the bus.
Chuck! Bro, this guy, he must be getting it wrong on purpose. Freaking Chuck!
Saying that Gangle was hit by the bus in real life.
Chuck!
The only reason she has some sort of active life now is because her consciousness was moved to the digital circus. Without the digital circus, she could be even in a comatose state, with a car accident being the last thing that Gangle remembers. It is possible that she was paralyzed but not unconscious and made the choice to enter the circus because of that, but no one really acts like they're there by choice. Instead, it seems like someone decided for Gangle that they should live on in this game than in whatever state they were left in after being hit by the vehicle. My editor Haru suggested that this is why Gangle looks the way she does in the circus, being just a face or head still containing her working consciousness and emotions, and elsewise just having ribbons that look like mangled limbs or even just bloody remains. All of this symbolizing that all that was left was her mind and not so much her working body. And Gangle may not even know that someone put her into the game on purpose, as even with the characters seemingly knowing about their lives before, they aren't too sure on how they got there, or else are In the
Yeah.
episode before this, we got to see an adventure that was focused more so on Kinger, who purposely sat out the Spudsy adventure to let others have the attention that they needed. In this Haunted Mansion episode, the story is a lot more metaphorical, as opposed to working at Spudsy's, which was the real-life job of Gangle. At the Haunted Mansion, however, we get Kinger's real-life experience filtered through the story of the fallen angel and the man trying to hunt it. This is the story that Kinger and Pomni hear when listening to the tapes of the mansion, where it's explained that this angel hunter was so obsessed with hunting a fallen angel that he ended up shooting his own wife by mistake. In previous videos, I'd theorized that this was meant to parallel how Kinger's wife Queenie abstracted inside of the game, with him being responsible for the emotional bullet that led her to finally breaking down and
Oh wow.
abstracting.
Emotional
However,
bully.
with the recent episode hinting more so at Gangle's real-life origins instead of her story within the game, it sets the stage to reinterpret Kinger's story a lot more dramatically. Kinger is
Maybe
shown to be
it only
really skilled with the gun in the
apply to
Haunted
Gangles.
Mansion game,
Good
something
point.
I had written off as meaning he had played the game before, despite Kane's insistence that it was an entirely new adventure. If the Hunter's story is meant to parallel Kinger's own story in real life then, it would stand to reason that perhaps Kinger is so good with this gun is because he was good with one in real life, and that's part of the reason that he ended up here. If Kinger had shot his own wife by mistake, it would make sense that he would put her consciousness into the game in order to save her, or preserve what is left of her. Like with Gangle after getting hit by a car, it was the only way to keep her going in some form, and Kinger could have decided that he wanted to be in the game with her, explaining how he might have actually become Kinger. But then why would he have shot his wife? According to the tapes, the man who shot his wife was at first hunting an angel who was known to drag his victims into hell, with hell in the show actually being the digital circus. It's a surreal prison ruled over by an artificial intelligence demon who thinks he's a god and exists to make everyone else suffer because he doesn't understand the needs of a human soul. King, however, is not just a character in the digital circus game, but he is believed to be named and modeled after one of the game's actual creators. This has been a theory since episode 1 when Pomni saw the logo in the office that Kane had created, modeled after the real office where the digital circus game is running. The C and A in the logo is believed to be a reference to Cain and Abel, the first two sons of Adam and Eve in the Bible, with the AI in the games, Cain and Bubble, being an in-game Easter egg referencing their creators. This is important because Cain in the Bible is also the first murderer. Creators. This is important because Cain in the Bible, A in the logo, is believed to be a reference to Cain and Abel, the first two sons of Adam and Eve in the Bible, with the AI in the games, Cain and Bubble, being an in-game Easter egg referencing their creators. This is important because Cain in the Bible is also the first murderer, murdering his own brother Abel. Because of this, later Jewish texts like the Zohar depict Cain as the son of the fallen angel Samael, who is described as the leader of the rebellious fallen angels. So here we have all these references to Cain and the game of the rebellious fallen angels. So here we Samael, who is described as the leader of the rebellious fallen angels. So here we have all these references to Cain in the game, and perhaps the Cain in real life being something of a murdering fallen angel who drags you into hell, or in this case, the digital circus. This could go a lot of different directions in the show, but with what we have of Kinger's story, it could be that he knew someone was abusing the digital circus technology to trap the consciousness of people in the game. Like the character in the Haunted Mansion, he could have been obsessed with proving that someone, the real-life Cain perhaps, was behind this, but in trying to do so, only ended up shooting his wife. He likely would have gotten to this point after a long period of
What about the real-life Cain? What?
Like the character in the Haunted Mansion, he could have been obsessed with proving that someone, the real-life Cain perhaps, was behind this, but in trying to do so, only ended up shooting his wife. He likely would have gotten to this point after a long period of paranoia that he was next, that Cain or someone like him was about to put him into the game and end his human life. Thinking that someone was coming after him, he might have had his gun at the ready, which ended up just firing at his wife. And because of that, he may have turned to Cain himself to put his wife's consciousness in the game, and then his own so that he could always be with her. Over time, he would have gone insane and lost these memories, but they would have surfaced in the Haunted Manor, which was designed to reflect the player's greatest fears. This would make Kinger and Queenie rather later additions to the circus, with others before them having abstracted probably. And Gangle's own addition not being something of a murder, but something of a mercy as we discussed before. There is of course the possibility that there is no real villain, and that whoever is putting these people in the game has only done so to help them, But with Kane being a murdering figure in Genesis, I'm gonna go with the idea that Kinger was right to think that something wrong was happening. A popular theory I've seen in the comments after the Haunted Mansion episode is that Pomni believes that she was purposely put here by someone who is trying to torture her. A real-life Kane, perhaps, from outside of the game. This is because she claims that he is trying to make her suffer without indicating who he actually is. The obvious answer is just the Kane within the game, who had made this new minigame in order to scare the people because he thought it would be fun for them. But some fans have interpreted this to be an accusation against a person who might have put her into the game. Though if that is a Kane-like figure from outside of the game, who our Kane in the game is modeled after, then technically both would be true. Pomni may have been tricked into the game rather easily. She may have just been asked to put on the headset to try the game out, not knowing that it had some sort of glitch that would immediately snap her consciousness into the game. If the Kane killer theory is true, he definitely has a lot of enemies because there were a lot of circus guests in the game who abstracted before Pomni got there. But when it comes to Ragatha and Zubul, it's hard to say what they could have done to make someone want to put them there. Jax, I can imagine just being put there as some sort of punishment, but with everyone else, it's hard to say. So what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you haven't seen it yet, consider checking out the video I did on the Disney Atlantis movie, where we go really deep into the real-life mythology, similar to what we did with the Zohar and the Book of Genesis for this video. See you guys there.
I think gang was put into the digital circus by either their parents or by the doctors as a last resort after getting run over. Goosework did say that Jax deserved to stay there, so maybe we could see this as their hell, and after they're dead, their minds got uploaded there so they suffer for all eternity. Thank you. Is that not a truck? The man says car in the last episode. Then him go call it truck. No, then him go call it bus. Then him go back to a car. Then him eventually say vehicle. I'm just like, dude, truck gun. It's clearly obvious what it is. I know, right? I'm glad I'm not the only one just freaking out about it, because it's literally one easy word. Obviously one thing. Just truck. Isekai. Gango got Isekai to Kane's office. Damn. Is that what it is? It's a whole semi. How did bro not to realize it? Dude, he writes a whole script for this. He had more than enough time to freaking notice whether that was a truck or, what vehicle it was. You know, what he's saying in video is he actually wrote that down. I just chat crap. Me different. He actually have a script. Anyways, it's one more video. Anime is not weird. Anime is perfect. You waste, man. Sarcastic chorus. Oh yeah, this was one of them that I wanted to see.
Still don't know everything Jax had to go through, though I can imagine. What I do know is that Gangle exploited him more than the average worker, while Gumingo was super chill and Pomni was slipping into madness just like Gangle. So today we're going to look at 15 facts about episode 4 of the Amazing Digital Circus. Number 1. Episode 4 of the Amazing Digital Circus has finally landed. Unlike past chapters, its title doesn't match the kooky adventure that Kane originally cooked up. This time it's called Masquerade at Spotsy's. Our buck-toothed ringmaster wanted to go with something like The Curse of the Violent Psycho Butcher, keeping up his more mature horror adventures. Oh, this time it's called Masquerade at Spotsy's. Our buck-toothed ringmaster wanted to go with something like The Curse of the Violent Psycho Butcher, keeping up his more mature horror adventures. However, thanks to Pomni stepping in, the event ended up named An Honest Day's Work at Spotsy's restaurant chain. As the episode goes on, we realize why they tacked the word mask onto the final title. Number 2. It's clarified that Gangle's new mask doesn't actually belong to her. It's just another piece from Zubul's stash. Zubul dug it out of her own box, thinking it might restaurant chain. As the episode goes on, we why they tacked the word mask onto the final title. Number 2, it's clarified that Gangle's new mask doesn't actually belong to her. It's just another piece from Zubal's stash. Zubal dug it out of her own box, thinking it might fit Gangle since it was the right shape and made of plastic. Of course, no cracking on the outside doesn't mean Gangle's any tougher on the inside. She still gets broken up in this episode, though her comedy mask remains spotless. Interestingly, since it originally belonged to Zubal, some fans theorize Zubal has a bunch of alternate heads she hasn't bothered using, always rocking that trademark triangle head instead. Number 3, the biggest reference explosions happens in Kane's office. If you peek at the books on his shelf, you'll notice some very peculiar titles. Volumes about glowings, others emblazoned with separate moon and sun symbols, one showing Kane's face, a huge tome labeled MatPat Theory, shouting,
Get out.
one showing
Really?
Kane's
Oh, get the frick out of here. I don't see the one with Kane facing it.
volumes about glowings, others emblazoned with separate moon and sun symbols, one showing Kane's face, a huge tome labeled MatPat Theory, shouting out the retired MatPat from the game theory. One simply titled Frank, a couple featuring bees, very peculiar titles. Volumes
Mind
about
freak.
glowings, others emblazoned with separate moon and sun
Oh, I
symbols,
see.
one
I see.
peculiar
Mappa,
titles.
what?
Volumes about glowings,
Yeah,
others
Mappa Theory.
emblazoned with separate moon and sun symbols, one showing Kane's face, a huge tome labeled MatPat Theory, shouting out the retired MatPat from the game theory. One simply titled Frank, a couple featuring bees, and even one referencing Pomni's original machine-generated name,
Yeah.
CCC. But our personal favorite has to be the purple book titled
It's only a 1D though.
XCCC. But our personal favorite has to be the purple book titled Massacre Droids, clearly tipping its hat to its sister series Murder Drones. Number the name
Oh.
XCCC. But our personal favorite has to be the purple book
Oh, you
titled
see that there.
Massacre Droids, clearly tipping its hat to its sister series Murder Drones. Number 4. This episode differs a lot from the earlier ones for a variety of reasons. The show's creator even mentioned beforehand that it'd feel weirder and also more personal to her. She said the characters each represent facets of herself, and while we don't know if she actually worked in fast food, maybe her experience heading up this show and always having to present her best side found its way into the story. Number 5. They didn't delve too deeply into the history of the commercial district around Spudsies, but we did learn the name of that bald dude on the signage, Albert Spudsie, the founder of Spudsies. He's seemingly a parody of Colonel Sanders, who started that other famous fast food chain, KFC. Number 6. Just like last episode revealed that Kinger studied computer science for 7 years, this time we learned Gangle was a manager at her workplace before stumbling into the circus. The original script didn't specify if it was a fast food gig, but the Spanish dub claimed it was, so we're not sure if that's official canon or just a little translation slip. Number 7. Some fans got riled up thinking the characters don't remember their past lives, but from the very first episode, it's clear they only have trouble recalling their real names. They do recall their histories, like Pomni remembering the VR headset she got stuck with. The creators even stressed that point, expecting the usual accusations of a retcon or plot hole. She figures maybe people got confused because Kinger has memory issues, but insists everyone else clearly remembers their backgrounds. Number 8. Turns out Zubal's box doesn't just contain Gangle's plastic mask. According to Jax, Zubal might also be hiding Pomni's signature comic book horn in there. Gangle suggests Jax might rock the horn look, prompting Pomni to respond with her iconic line from the comic, well, it's possible. Number 9. C and A, the name we first saw plastered on the exit door stage back in episode 8. Zubal might also be hiding Pomni's box doesn't just contain Gangle's plastic mask.
A Soviet single.
According to Jax, Zubal
The
might
freak.
also be hiding Pomni's signature comic book horn in there. Gangle suggests Jax might rock the horn look, prompting Pomni to respond with her iconic line from the comic, well, it's Jax might rock the horn look. So be hiding Pomni's signature comic book horn in there. Gangle suggests Jax might rock the horn look, prompting Pomni to respond with her iconic line from the comic, well, it's possible. Number 9. C and A, the name we first saw plastered on the exit door stage back in episode 1, has been at the heart of countless theories about who's behind the digital circus. Although we hadn't spotted their logo for a while, it pops up again all over Spudsie's packaging, including spicy sauce packets. Next to the logo, the phrase distribution services appears, which sounds suspiciously like the distribution center building glimpsed outside Jax's
Do you
window.
notice
This has
that?
led some fans to suspect that it is the name we
This
first
is why
saw
I'm on this
plastered
video.
on the exit door stage back in episode 1, one has been at the heart of countless theories about who's behind the digital circus. Although we hadn't spotted their logo for a while, it pops up again all over Spootsie's packaging, including spicy sauce packets. Next to the logo, the phrase distribution services appears, which sounds suspiciously like the distribution center building glimpsed outside Jax's window. This has led some fans to suspect that CNA's facility stood near Spotsie's in the real world, letting Kane recreate it so accurately. Number 10. When Subal Beg's appears, which sounds suspiciously like the distribution center building glimpsed outside Jax's window. This has led some fans to suspect that CNA's facility stood near Spotsie's in the real world, letting Kane recreate it so accurately. Number 10. When Subal begs Kane not to make her join the adventure, he drops the famous line, "You can shut up now." That's a direct nod to a classic Cinema Saker sketch from the Angry Video Game Nerd channel, where Mike Matei reviewed Minecraft alongside Inspector Gadget, who hijacked the show by saying that exact phrase. Alex Rochon, Kane's original voice actor, confessed he started cracking up when he recorded it, immediately recognizing the reference. Number 11. We all wondered though what the Kinger was doing while everyone else slaved away in the minimum wage adventure. Near the end, we see pictures of each character getting graded on their performance. Most earn a B+, but Kinger rocks a shining A+. The photo shows him riding a mechanical bull-side saddle, effortlessly clinging with just one hand, proving he might just be the biggest badass in the group. Over the digital circus's lifespan, there have been some seriously atrocious products pumped out just to squeeze extra cash from fans, like those bootleg circus plushies that Glitch mocked by making Kane suffer over them. One of the creepiest spin-offs was the Memo Aponte cosplay line, featuring downright unsettling outfits. His version of Kane was so cringe, it reportedly inspired one of Kane's glitchy forms when he's
sick.
Seriously atrocious products pumped out just to squeeze
That's
extra
cool.
cash from fans, like those bootleg circus plushies that Glitch mocked by making Kane suffer over them. One of the creepiest spin-offs was the Memo Aponte cosplay line, featuring downright unsettling outfits. His version of Kane was so cringe, it reportedly inspired one of Kane's glitchy forms when he's having an error meltdown. Number 13. Even though generative AIs aren't exactly popular with everyone, Kane keeps sketching like it's no big deal, especially now that he doesn't have Gangle's notepad. We catch a glimpse of a few sheets of paper and pencils on his desk, all with doodles of the same bee. This strongly hints that bees are connected to him in some hidden way. Number 14. One detail that jumps out is when Kane yanks the suggestion box from the main base, causing water to spurt everywhere. Bubbles stops the flooding with its tongue. But the second Kane uses his own tongue for an expression, Bubbles' tongue vanishes and the water gushes out again. That little moment has sparked theories that Kane and Bubble could be one single AI, sharing resources behind the scenes. Number 15. As usual, this new episode brought a fresh wave of merch over at the official Glitch store. One highlight is the Gangle Animatez figure, showing her despairing next to her fractured comedy mask. The description compares it to that gut-wrenching feeling when you drop your mom's phone and crack it, meaning you can't play your cool games anymore. Unlike other Animatez items that have special titles, Gangle's just says, "Handle with care," followed by a bunch of dots, reminding you to treat her gently. If you do drop it, they suggest you slowly back away, just in case. Number 16. Another revelation in this episode is that the human characters in the circus actually have phones, or at least Gangle does. She's sporting a pink flip phone, the super popular kind from the early 2000s, decorated with a pig and a bunch of hearts on the cover. We catch a glimpse of her screen showing Kane listed as the boss. We also see they clock in pretty early. The phone reads 6:50 a.m. when the call comes through. Number 17. As soon as the workday kicks off at Spootsie's, Ragatha ends up face first in a fryer, practically drowning in the stupid sauce they slather on certain burgers for NPCs hooked on that spicy stuff. She trips out so hard, she hallucinates Gangle in a freaky dream sequence. But weirdly enough, Ragda looks cheerful afterward. For the rest of the episode, she moves around in slow motion, like she's on some kind of mind-altering substance. This triggered hundreds of fan artworks portraying Ragda in a not-so-work-friendly state, plus an epic animation from the legend Koda showing Ragda having the time of her life in another dimension, slumped on Spotsy's floor, unable to move. Number 18. Orbsman finally makes his debut. Unfortunately, this wasn't his first foray into the circus. He was the main character in the adventure Kane ran before Pomni arrived, so there's a chance he crossed paths with Kaufmo. Still, he graces us with his orb-like dialogue, which apparently translates into an order number 57 according to the official Orbsman voice actor. Number 19. Speaking of the number 57, it crops up again. Not once or twice, but thrice in this episode. Like the order Orbsman places the set of colored cubes on Kane's bookshelf next to a photo of a red hand, and most intriguingly, on a truck's license plate reading MR57AMH. Oddly enough, we can see a few silhouettes in the seats, leading some to theorize Mr. 57 might be an NPC or something along those lines. Number 20. Just as we suspected, this episode marks the return of not only the glowing queen, teased in earlier previews, but also the good old Gumigu and his gang of bandit lizards. Pomni is understandably startled, but Gumigu seems to have zero memory of their past adventure. Even the glowing queen doesn't appear mad at humans anymore, despite being defeated by a gone-crazy Kaufmo. It's likely Kane doesn't store the NPC's memories from one mission to the next, although they're still cruising around in that same maple syrup truck they snatched before. Truck number 21. As usual, several of Glitch's animators shared their behind-the-scenes work. Our buddy Jack once again showed off multiple scenes explaining how his live-action reference performances gave these characters their spark and helped bring them to life on screen. Number 22. When Zubul is forcibly tossed into the new adventure by Kane, a trapdoor opens beneath her feet. The sound effect as she plummets is pulled straight from the 1971 movie Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, specifically the alarm that blares when the egg-decator tags defective eggs. Talk about a throwback. Number 23. Ragtha's sauce-induced haze leads her to open up to Gangle, telling her she's super annoying when wearing that happy mask. Gangle takes it hard. We can practically hear her mask cracking on the inside. Later, near Spudsy's closing time, she confesses to Pomni how hurt she is and briefly removes her mask. Pomni suggests talking it out with Ragatha, but Gangle admits that while she really likes her friend, after a while it's tough to tell who's being sincere. She implies that she often bottles things up to avoid upsetting people. With the next episode rumored to focus on Ragatha, we're likely heading into the complicated life of everyone's favorite ragdoll.